Hey, it's Naset and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing this video for you all on painful periods and how I got rid of them. So if this information is going to be helpful to you or to someone you know, please keep watching. Painful menstruation is not natural. Menstruation is a natural female reproductive process required for a woman's body to prepare the uterus for pregnancy. A healthy menstrual cycle is 28 days long, lasting 1 to 3 days. However, the average woman experiences periods lasting 3 to 5 days long. My cycle began every 19 to 21 days and lasted 6 to 7 days at a time. I would spend the first 2 days of my period in bed with severe cramps, nausea, and vomiting. I was tired of constantly being in pain, so here's what I did. So the first thing I did was I went vegan. And this was a process for me. I started back in 2012 actually. I really wanted to make a change in my diet and I decided that I was going to detox. I was going to get rid of the things that I knew were no longer good for me, no longer helpful for me. And I read about the number 21. And what I read was that if you want to make a change in something, it takes at least 21 days for it to stick, for you to develop a new habit. And so I decided I was going to develop an eating plan for myself, and I was going to do it for 21 days so that way it would stick. So what I did for the 21 days was I eliminated meat, all animal flesh, dairy, alcohol, caffeine, and processed foods. So that's what I did for 21 days. I lost, I think, 15 to 18 pounds during that time. And I also saw a huge improvement just within that short period of time. Within like the next month, I saw a huge improvement in my cycle, in the pain. So going vegan is not just about eliminating meat, it's also about incorporating live, healthy foods in your body. Your body is alive. Your body is electric. Your body needs live things in order to continue to stay alive. Your cells and your organs need live things in order to fuel it so that you have the energy that you need to go about your everyday life, and so that your organs have the energy to function the way that it's supposed to function. So basically, I started incorporating more live foods. What's live? When you think of live, you think of the color green, right? So everything that is green, everything that is green and alive and growing, things that grow, plants, vegetables, fruits, and the closer these foods are to their live version, the better they are for your body, the more they have to give you, the more nutrients they have to give you. So during that 21-day period, I started to eliminate everything that was processed. So the next change that I made was to stop eating fake foods. And when I say fake foods, I'm talking about artificial foods, foods with artificial flavorings. Most of the time, things that are in a package, if it's not labeled GMO verified or organic, I don't eat it. I don't even pick it up. I had to get used to reading ingredients. I started looking at what's actually in the foods that I'm consuming, and it started to make me more aware of what I'm putting in my body. It started to make me more aware of what I was doing to my body to contribute to the issue that I was having. So yeah, stay away from artificial foods. Okay, so the other thing I did was consistent exercise. This one was really hard for me because I used to really hate working out. But the reason I think that I hated it so much was because I just did not have the energy. I used to feel
so it was so difficult for me to get up, to muster up the energy to just to work out. It felt like I was dying. I mean, but when I started to eat right and I started to have the right nutrients in my food, I had the energy to work out, and it was fun. I actually wanted to burn the energy off. So consistent exercise is really, really important to reducing your cramps. So in order to improve the circulation in your uterus, in your womb, and in the vessels in that area, you need to exercise. You need to start getting things moving. When you're sitting there and blood becomes stagnated, and it's not moving, you're going to experience more pain. So exercise, specifically when it comes to exercise, was waistline movements. Waistline movements, things that focus on the pelvis and the core. So dance, African dance, and womb yoga dance, which is a form of dance that was created by Queen Afua. It's actually African dance mixed with yoga, specifically Kemetic yoga. So the focus on womb yoga dance is on the womb. It's on waistline movements. And so while you're doing the movements, you're reconnecting with your womb, you're increasing circulation, you're dancing, it's fun. So yeah, womb yoga dance was one of the things that I started doing to improve my my womb health, my womb pain. Another thing I did was I focused a lot on keeping the colon clean. Your colon sits right on top of where the uterus is, and most people hold about 5 to 25 pounds of extra waste in the colon. So if you're holding that right above your uterus, you're gonna have pain. Another important thing is water. And I'm gonna really stress this because I think this is the one thing that people who are like me, who really don't like to drink water, are going to kind of skip past. And please don't skip past this one. This is, if anything, this is one of the most important things that you need to pay attention to in this video is water. Okay? Think about it. It's called your flow for a reason. Okay? And there's no such thing as flow without water. You need to keep the body hydrated in order for your period to flow, in order for circulation to happen. When the muscles are dehydrated, just like when you're working out and you start to get a cramp, it a lot of times is because of dehydration, and the muscles cannot function the way that they need to when they're dehydrated, and you end up having cramps and more painful cramps. So you need your body to be hydrated in order for your uterus to expel as it is supposed to do without causing a lot of cramping and pain. Also, avoid foods that are going to dehydrate the body. So this goes along with that. Foods that dehydrate the body include very processed, refined foods, salt, sugar, caffeine, alcohol. You really want to either reduce or eliminate those things if you want to see an improvement in your cycle. You also want to take in foods that rehydrate the body, and some of those foods include fruits, vegetables. These are foods that have a high water content. There are certain foods that are natural hormone balancers, and these are foods that are high in fiber. When it comes to vegetables, that would be your cruciferous vegetables like your broccoli, cabbage, kale, spinach, Swiss chard. Those vegetables that are very high in green, chlorophyll content, and high in fiber, they are natural hormone regulators. So if you want to start to get your hormones in balance, that's where you're gonna have to start. And there are other foods that cause a disruption in your hormone balance. Soy is one of them. Soy is composed of phytoestrogens, which can kind of mimic estrogen in the body. So you want to stay away from soy if you're trying to balance out your hormones and reduce period pain. Also, another thing I did was to make sure I was getting foods that are high in mineral content. One of the minerals I realized I was missing that is very important to your menstrual cycle is iodine. The way I started getting more iodine in my diet was through sea vegetables. So sea vegetables like kelp, Irish moss, spirulina, chlorella, nori, dulse. There are a lot of different ones, but the ones that I focused on mostly were spirulina and chlorella, and also Irish moss. The type of Irish moss I took most of the time was in a capsule form, which I got from a website called merchantoftheworld.com. And I will put the link to that in the description bar for anybody who wants to check those out. That was very helpful to me. Another product that I got from them, and this is not sponsored, I'm telling you the products that I use that really were helpful to me. So they don't know that I'm doing this video. They're not paying me for this. I'm just telling you what I used. Cramp bark is another one. Cramp bark helps to relax the muscles so that you're not having that bad cramping during your cycle. That was extremely helpful to me. Another product that I used from them was the Fibroid Plus. It has a lot of herbs in it that are really helpful for regulating your menstrual cycle. Another mineral that was really important for me to make sure I had in my diet was iron. Iron is really important for your red blood cells. It is necessary for your red blood cells to be able to carry oxygen to your organs, including your uterus. So I had to increase the foods that are high in iron, and that's also in a lot of the sea vegetables. Spirulina is very high in iron content, as well as wheatgrass, raisins, molasses, unsulfured molasses, a lot of the dark green leafy vegetables, spinach, kale, and it is good to get a lot of those foods in through smoothies. So that's one of the ways that I was able to take in a lot more iron, because I don't necessarily want to eat a whole lot of greens. That's an easy way for you to get more greens into your diet, is just by juicing. The next thing I did to improve my cycle was to switch to natural feminine care products. And this is a really important one that a lot of us don't tend to think about, because it's on the outside of our body, so we don't necessarily think that it's affecting us, but it does. Conventional sanitary napkins that we have on the market are typically made from plastic, from recycled trash, and the process that it goes through in order to make it look white and pristine and clean for you, it creates a chemical called dioxin. And the EPA says that there's no safe level of exposure to dioxin. So you have this chemical dioxin, recycled trash, plastic. You also have the dye that is on there. These are not natural dyes. These are artificial dyes that are on the pad. And you're absorbing them through your vagina. Your vagina is a mucous membrane. So you are absorbing them through your vagina. You're absorbing them into your uterus. And you have no idea how these chemicals are affecting your body. So those were some of the things I did to have a better period, and it's worked wonders for me. I hope this information is helpful to you. If you find it helpful, or if you think it will be helpful to someone who you know is really suffering with this issue, please share the video. I will see and talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.